是学校外交经理我想谈一下我学校的教学品质因为我的汉语不好，我说英语。Okay, 我说慢一点儿，你听懂 ？Okay. Alright. So without further ado, let's talk about teaching quality. This is what we want to know where we're heading for. Second, we try to assess during this semester, during the year, whether we are on target or not. Third, we try to improve if there are any problems with students' performance, teachers' performance, and finally, we want to achieve the teaching quality. Now, I'd like to talk you through the 4 steps: set the goal, assess, improve, and achieve. So let's get started with the first step. How do we set the goals? Here, I'd like to point out 2 things. First is the curriculum, our teaching plan, and also teaching methodology, what teachers are doing in a classroom. So let's talk about curriculum first. Curriculum includes 3 major parts. The first one is a weekly schedule of the students, what the students do, course materials, the textbooks that we're using in our daily life. And finally is a semester teaching plan. So let's break it down one by one. The first one is the course materials. Right, we give a lot of thought to the materials we use in the classroom, and this is what they are for English, math, and science. For science, since we are a bilingual school, all subjects are taught in 2 languages. For science, we use primary science from grade 1 to grade 6. For math, we use skill sharpener. This is a completely authentic material. Now for English though, we split the course materials into primary school and middle school. For primary school, we are using Kids Box. This is what I want to talk about. Now in our school, so I'll just do it one more time. Kids Box for primary school and Cutting Edge for junior middle school. This is grade 6 upwards. Now I'd like to tell you why we decided to choose Kids Box. Now in our school, we like to think globally. And there is a common European framework of reference. And they distinguish 4 or 6 levels of fluency from the basic user, independent user, and proficient user. Now, we don't want and we do not promise that your kids will be somewhere here, but we do promise that by the end of the primary school, your kids will be independent users. So we try to align our curriculum to the European framework of reference. And we try to cover level A1 and A2, basic users. Basically, when students start school, the first graders cover Kids Box 1 and Kids Box 2, and after that, grade 3, 4, 5, and 6, they cover all other books of the series, and they move through the Cambridge exams, starters, movers, and flyers. Now, I'd like to give you a short sneak peek into the books and the Kids Box materials that we are using. So let's give it a shot.
Kids Box is the fun course for seriously good results. Children delight in following the adventures of engaging characters, and teachers enjoy teaching this bright, dynamic course. In fact, everyone loves the course so much we brought out a 2nd edition with a completely new digital suite and a brand new starter level so that the fun can begin even earlier. Kids Box is now perfect preparation for the Cambridge English Young Learners tests, whether they're working towards starters, movers or flyers. The 2nd edition fully covers the test syllabus in an engaging way that children really respond to. The new easy-to-use Presentation Plus brings your classes to life with interactive whiteboard tools and a multimedia library. You can also develop your teaching skills with an online professional development program. Best of all, it brings all these elements together in one convenient place. And of course, with a new edition comes new content. New skill sections build on children's knowledge of other subjects through English. New values pages develop their social awareness, and new phonics sections improve reading, spelling, and pronunciation skills. There is also a brand new starter level to provide extra pre-literacy support so that schools can begin using Kids Box a year earlier with the much-loved characters from the course. Kidsbox Second Edition teaches children the English they need in a fun but meaningful way. Why not have a look for yourself? To find out more, go to cambridge.org/kidsbox.
And that's exactly why we love this book. It teaches kids in a meaningful and engaging way. And what do we do after that? Like I told you before, there are 3 levels: starters, movers, and flyers. And this is an international exam. It means that if students take an exam here and they pass flyers, or starters or movers, they will get exactly the same certificate as students in the United States or in the United Kingdom will get. Right? So we try to think globally, we try to think internationally. So this is why we chose Kidsbox as a main source for our English program. So this is very briefly our course materials. Now let's move on and look at semester teaching plan. Now a semester teaching plan is a roadmap, a map for us, you, and students know where they're going. Let's have a look. We have semester plan for every single subject: English, science, art and music, PE, and math. What does semester plan look like? Semester plan has months for easier navigation, also weeks, and also skills that have to be covered. Easy to use for you, for teachers, for everybody. All you need to do is look at the month, teaching week, and language or skills that kids need to cover. When they go back home, it's easier for you to review with them. It's also easier for teachers to plan their lessons effectively. Now, let's have a look at PE, or math. So it's very similar. It's easy to use, it's very straightforward, and also very useful. Now, let's move forward and talk about weekly schedule. Now, when we know where we're going, and we know what skills have to be taught, it's time to put them on the schedule. And this is what the regular schedule looks like. Now, you can imagine that since this is bilingual school, half of the subjects are taught in Chinese, whereas half of the subjects are taught in English, and they are highlighted with different colors. So I think the ratio is almost 1-to-1, right? There are 2 classes here, so it's almost 50-50. So by this schedule, kids get a great exposure to English language. They learn English during the English class and also during the nature, PE, math, music, and art. But we will talk about it later in more detail. Now, this is, very briefly, our curriculum, how it works. Now it's time to talk about teaching methodology. Basically, what happens inside the classroom. And here we need to talk about 4 things. First is classroom management. It's really important for teachers at this stage to know how to control the class. Second, it's objective-based learning. Third, audiovisual aids. And finally, additional materials. So let's break it down. Objective-based learning, what does it mean? Now, before teachers step into the classroom, we want them to have a crisp and clear idea of what the kids will take out of the classroom. We want them to have a crisp and clear idea of what the kids will take out of the classroom. Not what the teacher will do in the classroom, but what the kids will take. Oftentimes, I can spend an hour in front of the kids, but they will learn nothing. So that's why we create objective-based learning. We set it out from the very start what the kids will take out of the classroom. So our classes are engaging and effective. It's not a show time, it's a class time. Kids are there to learn. Now, how do we check? It's important to check that the students are on track and students are doing what we want them to do. All weekly tests have a vocabulary part, grammar part, listening part for the first grade, for the second grade, and also more challenging tasks for all the next thing, I want to talk about audiovisual materials. Now, kids are extremely susceptible to visual input. Not so much to hearing too, but also visual input. You saw in a Kidsbox promotion video that it comes with. That's what we install on every single computer in our classroom. A classware for Kidsbox. How does it work? An interactive classware is software that is installed on the computer and allows teachers to play the recording right from the software. It allows students to do some tasks on the board, on the screen, so it develops. We also don't forget about PowerPoints. It's a good way to elicit answers from the students.
What is he doing?
Yeah, see, wow, so kids really have a got it. Wow, code is working. Okay, so let's talk about classroom management. So we saw how kids are responsive to the visual input. Now let's talk about a time when kids get out of hand. So we train our teachers really hard at safety. So let's have a look how teachers manage their class.
What did she do? Yeah, who's that?
Okay, so this is a good example how clear instructions are given to the students. And also,
Are you what? We're just asking.
students are going to work in groups of 4. And teacher is making sure that students understand what to do. Because in a while you will see, the teacher will step back. The students will do the work on their own.
How many people? Here we go, ready? How many people got to do this? 1, 2, 3. Did we get to Charlotte though? Did she do one? She didn't say what. So how many? 3. So I would say yellow team. How many? Wow, 3. Any other group? You get more than 3? Can you guys get 4? Can you 5? Ready? Go!
Right. So at this stage, all students are interacting. Not only 2, not 3, all students are talking. They all try to teach each other. And it's important that instructions are set clearly for them to understand what to do. So this is second grade students. They're quite capable of, doing things on their own. Now monitoring is also very important. When students are on the task, this is first grade students by the way. So some students might be struggling a little bit. So it's important for teachers, and we train them to go around and help some students who are struggling to write, who doesn't know their answer. Okay, so you got an idea. That's classroom management. And finally, resourcefulness. We understand that all kids come to our school at different levels. Some of them have gone to international kindergartens. Their level of English is way higher than others. That's why we use a lot of supplementary materials to cater to the needs of fast finishers. For this kind of students, they're visual, very engaging. So this is really quickly how the teaching methodology works. And that's exactly what we train our teachers to do. Before the semester starts, we require all foreign teachers to arrive to school before, about 2 weeks before the semester starts, just to let them know that they need to follow the lessons, they need to include the software, they need to manage the class well, and they also need to use the materials. This is how we ensure the curriculum is covered. Right, so this is how we set the objective. This is what we want to achieve in our school. Oftentimes, while we're moving, there are some curves. We can get off course a little bit sometimes. That's why we need to constantly assess what we're doing and, if necessary, improve or correct in order to achieve. So let's have a look how we assess students, teachers, and curriculum. Students' performance, teachers' performance, and curriculum. We want to make sure that at any point we can sample students, teaching performance, and curriculum and make sure that the quality is there. So let's have a look how we do that. For students, we follow several steps. The first one, unit tests. I'll show you some examples. Second is midterm and final exams, which includes written exam and one-on-one interview. I repeat one more time, one-on-one interview with 2 foreign teachers. Every student gets an interview from 2 foreign teachers. And finally, continuous assessment record. We assess them every week. We keep continuous assessment so we can see the curve. Are they going up? Are they going down? So we can take actions. How do we assess teachers? Approved weekly lesson plans. I showed it before, objective-based learning. So before they actually use the lesson plan, they run this lesson plan by their division leader, by their head teacher, to ensure that their lesson plan is according to the curriculum. And only after that they can go and teach in the classroom. We don't just tell them, all right, do something, right? Watch a video, watch a movie, that should be fine, the kids, right? They don't understand anything. No, this is not a project we'd like to take. Lesson plan should be approved. The second thing is lesson observation by division leaders. We constantly, as division leaders, as head teachers, we come around to their classrooms and we see what is actually happening in the classroom. Is what they planned is actually what is happening in the classroom, right? We want to make sure that this is cohesive. And finally, periodical observations by department. So all three parts are constantly assessed, and if, for example, there's a mistake, or if we see that something is wrong with either curriculum, teacher performance, or students' performance, we have a tool to correct that. Let's have a look. For students, we can either move them up or down English level. For the first grade, even though we have only 3 grades, grade 1 plus 1, grade 1 plus 2, grade 1 plus 3, we have six English groups. Students are struggling all the way to the fast finishers. So we give them the entry test, and they assign to a particular class. Throughout the semester, we look at their continuous assessment and we talk to the teachers and we think, shall we move them up or shall we down? Or materials. For teachers, it's training, peer observation by other teachers, or face-to-face meeting with a head teacher. And for curriculum, it's continuous fine-tuning and upgrades. Finally, in order to achieve everything that we planned, we need someone to actually do that into place. At the moment, we have 13 foreign teachers, including myself. Let's have a look. Quite a lot, right? For such a small school. I worked in several schools in China, and I'm going to tell you, this is a lot of foreign teachers. Sometimes you can have 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. We have 13. And these are not only English teachers, these are art teachers, math, and also science, and also PE. So this, for example, Jade, she's a dedicated PE teacher. She doesn't teach anything else but PE. Joel is a dedicated art teacher. He only teaches art classes, also Alfred and Jenna. They do not teach English, they are not qualified to teach anything but this subject. This is what they like, this is what they know how to do. I should also mention one thing. We foreigners, when we come here, we need to obtain a lot of papers to be legally employed here. One of these papers is a working permit. Right? So, the easier way is to get a tourist visa. You don't need anything, just a ticket. The risk for you as a parent is that I get a tourist visa, I come here, and then one day police arrives and say, hey, what are you doing here? Right? And you will not have a teacher. Or, if you don't have this paper, a foreign expert certificate, right? So all teachers, not only they need to be good people, good friends, but they also need to be qualified. They need to know what they do, because first graders, they're only first graders for 1 year. They're not going to be first graders for the second year. So if we miss this time, if we put in the classroom someone who is not qualified, it means that we wasted their time. We don't want to do that. So that's why we only hire qualified teachers accredited by Cambridge English University, or having a QTS, a Qualified Teacher Status. This is a UK counterpart. So we take it really seriously to ensure that teachers who come to our school are qualified, they're healthy, they have no criminal backgrounds. So finally, why do we do all these things? Create curriculum, assess, correct, hire. Why do we do that? We do that for the sake of students. We want to achieve quality because students matter. What's her name? Clifford, what is your grade? Okay, and who is your English teacher? Do you like Eve? Why? Very good teacher. High five. Wait, who's that? Hello. What's her name? Jada, what's the weather like? Do you like sunny weather?
No.
Why? Okay, what can you do in sunny weather? You can drink juice! Good job! High five, Judy! Watch TV? What do you like to watch in TV? What is this? TV, okay. A DVD. Do you watch TV? Do you watch TV alone? Yes. Where does a seahorse live? All right. What other animals live in the ocean? Can you tell me the animals? What are they? It's first grade. And what's her name? And how old are you? All right, thanks. Have a good day. Okay, we also asked them something about their teachers, and we asked them, you can speak Chinese now, so we don't know what you say. What do you think about your teacher, Eve? Okay, now tell me about teacher Anya. Okay. All right, thanks. High five. See you. Bye. All right, bye-bye. We do now school. We try to create all these things. We create the curriculum, assess, improve, and achieve for the sake of students. So we care for the students, and we are here to help them learn. 谢谢大家。